water going behind us. You know what I mean? Like this is my type of like environment right here. This is where I thrive. Let me get that set back again, right where I wanted it. Yeah, okay, there we go. There we go. Yeah, off today. Spent the day just kind of lounging around, talking on the phone, talking with friends. But it's the evening. It's the afternoon, going to the evening. I wanted to come back. How you doing, D Skizzle? Wanted to come back, do another live stream. Probably gonna be busy this week. May not get a chance to stream. How you doing, Retired 2019? And I wanted to talk about using our hard-earned money to buy freedom, not things. Okay? Using our hard-earned money to buy freedom, not things. The name of the game is to have as much control over our lives as possible, not to like acquire as much as possible. Unless you're one of those people who just likes a ton of stuff. I think for most of us, really our goal in life is to get as much out of this life as possible. And we should be using money as a tool to work towards having more control over our life, more control over our time, as opposed to like using it to buy more things and further enslave us. Because that's what we do. Left to our own devices, just going along with what society says, we're gonna make money and immediately turn around and buy things that are gonna further enslave us. Buy things that now we're gonna have to take care of those things. It's like, what's the point in me working all these hours if any money I have after I pay all the bills and I take care of my responsibilities, I just turn around and buy things that's gonna make me have to work even more hours. You know what I mean? Like, we don't think about it that way. And I know, like, when I say hard-earned money, that's just not a phrase. You know what I mean? Like we work hard for our money. You know what I mean? Even if it's not physically, we're working mentally, like, and it just seems normal to us, but we be out here working hard for our money. But I don't think we always, and I'm including myself in this one, I don't think we work as hard about our decisions on how to spend our money. And once again, I understand money tight these days. A lot of times the check goes to bills, responsibilities, things like that. But there's still a lot of people out here who got a decent amount of disposable income. Okay? I think we all can look back at the past and look at some of our financial decisions and realize, if I hadn't bought that, if I hadn't blew my money on that, I would be a lot freer today. I would be a lot freer today. I know, speaking from past experience, if I hadn't spent all my 20s in the bar and in the clubs and in the strip clubs and paying for drinks for girls and, you know, all that stuff, I would be a lot freer today. I'm pretty free now, but I would be a lot freer, and I would have a higher level of freedom, if that makes any sense. If I had spent that decade, that 15 years from like 20 to my mid-30s, we'll just say that decade. If I had spent that decade working, which I did, I worked, but then I had taken that money and put it somewhere smarter. Now, I wasn't buying things, I was just blowing money, but like, whatever. I think a lot of people buy things and think they're being responsible with their money, but those things aren't like assets. You know what I mean? Those things aren't working towards their freedoms. Those things end up taking more money. You buy a car, now you need car insurance. Now you need gas. Now you gotta wash the car. Now you gotta fix the car. You know what I mean? Not saying don't have a car, but I'm just saying that, like, even some things we're like, oh, if I buy a car, that'll give me more freedom. Is it ultimately? Or does it mean you gotta work harder or work, you know, more to pay for the car, you know? And once again, it's not about saying any possession, anything is right or wrong. It's about figuring out what's right for each one of us. And I think that's something we struggle with too, is like, we're always so quick, you know what I mean, to say that, like, oh, you should do this or you shouldn't do that. It's different for everybody. You know, everybody's ideal of freedom is different. And so I think I'm big on like figuring out, once again, what do you want your life to look like? What does freedom look like to you? You know, what life do you have to be living for you to say, I feel free enough? You know what I mean? Because we're all going to be, I think, enslaved to the system somewhat, you know? I mean, we are a part of it. But it's like, what does my life need to look like for me to feel free? And then like, how do I need to spend my time, my energy, and also my hard-earned money to make that happen? Or what can I stop blowing my money on to help me get to that sooner? Because for a lot of people, even as much as, you know, we're seeing all the videos and the news articles and things about people struggling, which a lot of people are, there's a lot of people doing very well. There's a lot of people who are good. Or a lot of people who could be good, but they're just making bad decisions. The focal point in life is stuff. The focal point in life is status. And if that's what makes you happy, cool. But a lot of those people aren't happy. I used to listen to a lot of Dave Ramsey back in the day. And there were a lot of people who called in who made a lot of money and were unhappy, miserable, and broke. And that always blew my mind. And honestly, I think that's what first got me thinking that like, oh, just making more money isn't always gonna make you happy. Like you gotta have something to do with the money that's gonna make you happy. You know, people always wanna argue. And I agree that on certain levels, money can buy you happiness. People always wanna argue, oh, money can buy happiness. I'm like, yeah, if you know what to do with the money. You can use your money to get free, get happier. You donate your money, that makes you happy. You know what I mean? Like there's ways to use money to get happiness, yes. If you do that. But a lot of people work very hard, very hard. The bugs are out. I knew if I got close to the water like this, the bugs was gonna be out, but I wanted this view. I'll deal with the bugs. You know, a lot of people work very hard, but they have no plan or strategy or really no idea as to what to do with the money to maximize their freedom, their happiness, their joy. And yeah, I understand. It feels fun. And here's the thing though. Yes, buying stuff feels fun. Seems great. But we gotta be smarter than that. You don't have to be. Like, you know what I mean? If people wanna live their life and go, hey, I love blowing money, I love buying stuff, it feels good short term, cool. And you can do that if you want. But if you want like long-term freedom, if you really genuinely want to be in like more control of your life, you can't just go along with all the stuff we're getting told to buy. I don't think there's ever been a time in history. I know there's never been a time in history where we were more pressured to buy things. Every time you get on social media, you turn on the TV, whether they come out and say it, the implication 90% of the time is you're not good enough unless you buy our product. Something's wrong in your life and buying our product will fix it. Now, sometimes the correlations are totally make no sense. You're single, you want to mate, buy our toothpaste. You know what I mean? It just be random stuff that doesn't even go together. How is buying that going to do that for me? But if you see it in a commercial enough, you'll believe it. You'll see that brand at the store, you'll buy it, you're happy for about 30 minutes, then you're bored with it. So it's like, I feel like we gotta be smarter than the advertising. We gotta be smarter than the advertising. We gotta be smarter than what everybody else around us says is the right thing to do if we're really trying to get the most out of this life. If we're not, fine. There's no rules, you can do what you want. But if you're feeling like, I think there's more. You know what I mean? If you're feeling like, I mean, and that's how it was kind of before I started living the life I'm living now, about 9 years ago. It wasn't a bad life, but it just felt like I wanted more. It was just like, getting up, going to work every day, even though I was providing myself a comfortable existence, I just kind of wanted more. And a big part of that was I was kind of living the way I just assumed everybody was supposed to live, and like doing all the things everybody's supposed to do. Well, you got to have an apartment, you got to have a car, you got to do that, like, right? I was doing it. Nothing wrong with it, but it wasn't for me. And so that's why it's funny to me that, like, especially when I first started doing seasonal work, I was making way less money. I first started seasonal work back in 2015. I was making way less money. I didn't even want to tell people how much I was getting paid an hour down there at the Yellowstone National Park. It was crazy, but I was so much freer. I was so much happier. I was doing something I wanted to do. Like, I was living in a national park, bro. I was meeting new people. Like, I was still working, but like work just didn't seem as rough when you get off and you're in the middle of a national park. Like, even now, work don't seem as bad when I can come and like hang out here after work anytime I want. But yeah, it's just like I had to switch up my like main motivation, and then B, it's like, okay, how do I take these little bitty coins I got and use them to like do the things I want to do, as opposed to like continuing to just buy stuff and live this existence that like was cool but wasn't for me. That's the whole thing, is like, and like I think we have to believe we can acquire a certain level of freedom or a certain level of control over our life, or we won't ever go after it. I think that's a big part of it too. I think like we're just kind of taught to believe we're powerless. We're just kind of taught to believe like you got to go along with reality. You got to be a realist. But it's like, no, you can do whatever you want. like literally, you can do whatever you want. It's just making the right decisions to do that, or you can start down whatever path you want to start down. You can decide, oh, this is where I want my financial abundance to go. Nobody has to get it. This is what I want to work towards my life looking like in 5 years. Nobody has to get it. You don't even have to get it. You know what I mean? Like that was a friend of mine, Minimally Michelle, did a video today, like talking about like where do our thoughts come from, and like got very deep into all that. But I'm a big believer that, yeah, like a lot of times some of the things we want to do the most in life, we don't know where it comes from. It just comes from, you know? It's just there. I don't think we need to overanalyze it either. If something's telling you, hey, I just want to, hey, you want to do this? Something inside of you is like, hey, we want to do this. We don't need to overanalyze why. I think we're very big on like trying to analyze everything these days, when sometimes I think we just got to like go along with it. What up, him? And hi to everybody in the chat. I kind of been riffing. Hey, Jim, yeah, get you somewhere cooler, Jim V, get you somewhere cooler. 90 degrees, it feels like 103, that's too hot. So I have to cook your brains. But yeah, I think we don't have to overanalyze why we want to do certain things. Those things that just keep coming up that we're like, man, I would really love to do that. Transition that to like, one of these days I'm gonna do that. And I feel like too, when you have some type of goal in mind, it helps you with your decisions, money decisions, life decisions, whatever. I know for me, when I don't have a plan, I'm all over the place. But like when I have some type of plan, what up, Katie? Checking in from Costa Rica. Got them pretty surroundings, nice. But like when I have a plan and I got something I'm working towards, it was like, oh, a couple months from now, I want to take a trip. I start making really good money decisions because I got something that like I want to work towards. I start, making really good life decisions because I don't want to mess up before I get to do said thing. When I got a plan, when I got something I'm working towards, I get really good about my decisions and what I do because I got an end game. I think a lot of people don't have an end game in life or an end game that means anything to them. Saying like, I want to be a millionaire is not an end game, okay? But saying like, hey, I would like to have enough money to travel 6 months out the year, that's an end game. You can figure out a way to make that happen through good money decisions, good life decisions. It might take 20 years, but you can figure out a way to make that happen. There are ants all over this tree, boy. They are coming in like a 12 pack. There's like 12 of them coming. Anyway, when you have an end game that means something to you, boy, these bugs is out. Where the sun? I need the sun to come back out. When you when you have Josh, you going to Ghana? Nice. See, that's a goal. When you have an end game or a goal that genuinely means something to you, I think then we just naturally start working towards it. But I think most people don't have that. A lot of times, I know for many years I didn't. Sometimes even now I lose it. I'll lose the thread. I have to find it again. All right, where are we at, Tim? What are we doing? What are we working towards? Because if you don't have that and you're just kind of living life, doing what everybody else does, of course you're going to make like rash decisions. Of course you're going to blow your money. What else you going to do with it? You got nothing else. I got money in my pocket, I'm blowing it. What else you going to do with it? You know? I'm reading some of these comments here. Jay going to the DR in 3 days. Congratulations. A lot of summer travel going on. I see y'all. Ricky, yeah, that's a good one too. Write it down. Put it somewhere. You're going to see it. You know, like humans, we think we're so evolved, but honestly, if you tell us something enough or we see it enough, we believe it. Marketers, advertisers know this. That's why they don't just show you one commercial. They show you the same commercial 100 times. And they spend millions of dollars to do that because they know it affects us and we will like spend billions of dollars because of it. Why would a company spend $5 million on a commercial to show you an ad 100 times? Because they know they'll make 20 million off of it. So like it obviously works. Repetition works. You know, I got y'all with the DoorDash update. Repetition works. So we can use that in our favor. We think we're very evolved, we're really not. If we focus on something, if we think about it every day, if we see it every day, it's probably gonna happen. Or we're gonna start working to try to make it happen. It's simple. All the real deep human life stuff is very simple. I feel like if somebody tries to sell you on like how very deep humanity is, they're probably trying to sell you something literally. You know, they got something else they want out of you. Because all the real deep human stuff is it's hard to do. We don't like doing it, but it's actually in my opinion, very simple. You see it enough, you hear it enough, you believe it. We can use that on ourselves. It doesn't matter who we hear it from. How many of us have like negative views about ourselves because like growing up, people used to tell us this. And even though we're grown and we know it's not true, we still believe it. We heard it. Doesn't matter who you hear it from. So we can be the influence in our own life and just keep telling ourselves, I'm gonna get free. I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna figure out a way to make enough money to pay all my bills, live comfortably, and be setting up me a situation to get free. Tell yourself that every day. I'll see what happens in 6 months. Vision board, all that stuff. Tell yourself that every day, see what happens. It's simple. But what we typically do is we keep regurgitating the negative every day. Oh, I'm so skinny. Oh, I'm so fat. Oh, I'm so ugly. Oh, I'm so this. Oh, I'm so... We just keep... So, of course, like 2 years from now, we're still in that same situation where we think we're whatever. We can switch that around. It's very simple. Write it down. Put it somewhere. Put it on the mirror. I look good. I'm finna be free. You know, it's funny, but like, I tell you, humans, we're not that complicated. We're really not that complicated. Real quick, folks, some of y'all who tuned into the stream yesterday, I had ordered some DoorDash at about 6:39. I want to give y'all an update. I said I would. What up, Jessica Jess? Got your first seasonal job. Hold on, I want to see this. In the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee. You're on cloud nine. Yes, that's awesome. That's awesome. Glad to hear that. That's awesome. That's awesome. One more comment. Jay, hey, appreciate that, man. Glad you're loving the videos. So yeah, I ordered DoorDash during the stream, live on the stream. I put on my other phone, ordered DoorDash. Appreciate y'all hitting the like button, by the way. Ordered DoorDash at like 6:39. I think I finished the stream at like 8-ish. Still hadn't got my DoorDash. They still hadn't even found me a dasher yet. Got off the stream, got on the phone with DoorDash. You know, well, you can't get on the phone, you gotta chat with them. Chatted with DoorDash. I'm like, hey, what's going on? Where's my food? You don't even have a dasher. So they're like, hey, sorry about the delay. We can give you, boy, these bugs is out. We can give you a $10 credit for the wait. Cool. Okay. 20 more minutes passes. 20 more minutes. It's going on like 2 hours without my food now. It's going on like 8:30 now. I ordered at 6:39. Finally, as I check back in with DoorDash, I'm like, hey, what's going on? As I'm chatting with them, they find a dasher. And I'm like, okay, y'all found a dasher. I'm like, but it's almost been 2 hours. I was like, I want a refund and I want my food. 2 hours, the food's gonna be cold. The food's been sitting up there at least for an hour and a half, cold. I said, I want a full refund, but I also want my food. And she was like, hey, I can't do both, but she was like, I can give you more credits if you wait. So I'm like, okay. They gave me $20 worth of credit this time. So before they gave me 10, this time they gave me 20. So they've given me $30 worth of credit. Now keep in mind, my meal was $44, tip included. My meal was $44. They've already given me back 30. I'm happy with that. It says the dasher is heading to the restaurant. The guy gets there and then he starts going in the other direction. He had another order to drop off way out in BFE. So it was gonna be another 30 minutes before he got to me. So I called DoorDash again. I'm like, oh, no. Actually, no, I didn't. I was like, you know what? They've already given me, I was mad, but I'm like, they've already given me $30 back, whatever. I'll just wait. I ain't got nothing else to eat. Finally, 25 minutes later, he drops that order off because you can see it all on the app. He drops that order off. Hey, Praveen, I'll get to you when I finish the story. Thank you, Praveen. He drops that order off and then he just starts heading off in the middle of nowhere. Like I'm down here, he starts heading over here. Whoa, these bugs is out. I'm gonna have to move uphill in here in a minute. I'm down here, he starts moving up here. And he's just steadily getting further and further away. I think he dropped that other order off and then he just quit. I'm done for the day. So I hit DoorDash up again. I'm like, and they tried to call him, couldn't get in contact with him. Long story short, they gave me a refund. So I got all my money back and I got $30 worth of credit. So it sucked because I had no dinner. I had to eat cookies and I had some black beans in a can in one of my dresser drawers. I have like an emergency food dresser drawer. I got like oatmeal and some canned goods in there. So I had some black beans and some like sugar cookies for dinner. Horrible dinner. But I made $28. You know what I mean? When it's all said and done, I made $28 and I used those credits today to order the same thing from the same restaurant and I got it for lunch. So yeah, didn't work out last night, but it worked out today. So yeah, it was crazy. Praveen, thank you. Super chat. Yeah, I will give DoorDash this. They are always very good at like, I gotta move uphill. Hold on, folks. This is getting crazy. These bugs are getting crazy. Hold on. There's where I was at, by the way. Here's the. I had the tripod on the tree right there. You know. The sound probably went out because I bumped the microphone. I bumped the. Oh, it's probably because I was getting a call. Yeah, I was getting a call. That was probably the sound. Where can I go to get away from these bugs? We're going up here. We're going up here. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that back there. Ooh. Nice. We're going to go uphill. See if we can find a spot to sit down. I think I got a rock up here I sit on. Yeah, there's my rock. Okay. I think. Yeah, I think this is the rock I sit on right there. And yeah, I think it's better reception on the hill. Hold on, let me get it so y'all can see me. Is this the rock I usually sit on? Maybe this ain't the rock I usually sit on. Maybe it's over there. Hold on. Thought that was it. I gotta find a rock with the right angle on it. So I can, maybe this is it. Okay, yeah, I think this is it. All right. Okay, ooh, hold on. Where are we at? All right, I think we're here. This is good. Here we go. Hey, oh, hold on. Simon, thank you. Super Chat Squad, thank you. Said I want 8 croutons and a bowl of tomato sauce for dinner. No good reason, though. Just, bro, I feel you. Sometimes, you know, I remember when I was in Atlanta, I lived in Atlanta with my sister, and, you know, nights just eating peanut butter, you know, and that was mainly because A, my money was low, and B, like I had money to go down to the little store and maybe get like some ramen or something, you know, a real unhealthy, like food desert, like, like meal for dinner. But after it got dark, I was scared to walk through the neighborhood that way. You know, me and my sister, it was a cool apartment complex, but like I was good on my side of it because I knew everybody on my side. But to get to the store, you had to go on the other side. And during the day, I was cool, but I wasn't cool enough with them dudes over there to go at night. So there was times like, yeah, I waited too late to get any food. And it was like, well, I guess it's peanut butter and water. Like, nah, I ain't go on that side. They knew us, but like they didn't know us well enough to not rob us at night. You know, some of y'all live in Atlanta. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? During the day, they was cool. Oh, what up? At night, let them catch you over there. You pretend they didn't know you. Natasha, thank you. Super Chat Squad, thank you so much, Natasha. Thank you. Super Chat Squad, thank you. I feel like my microphone's all weird. So yeah, I thank you so much, Natasha. So yeah, there's been other nights I went to bed, you know, without the best meal. Last night I wasn't trying to do that, but hey, that's just how it worked out. But you know, yeah, I got them credits. Hey, you're welcome, goddess. Katie, quit the job? Okay. Gave the notice, had plenty of money saved, slew of marketable skills and experience, had the deuce out after a dry promotion. Hey, I give you props for going through and doing it. You know, that's not easy. As much as I'm Mr. Quit Your Job, that is not easy to do. You know, there's a lot that comes with it. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of anxiety and fear, and even when you got money and it's still hard to do. So I give you props for doing it. And we taking them dry promotions. Oh, Katie, it's all good. Retired 2019, you been using Grubhub? I do need to check on, well, here's my thing. I kind of want to check different, like Uber Eats or Grubhub, but I know DoorDash always fixes it when they mess up. So I'm not sure about the other ones. But DoorDash has never messed up and not fixed it for me. So, like in this one, I came out $30 ahead. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm kind of scared to switch. But I might. Freedom over possessions. Let's go, Philip. Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I mean, yeah, for me, when I have a car or when like, well, I'm lying. Even when I have a car, I used to DoorDash a lot. But here I got no op. But starting tomorrow, there's a shuttle that starts running into town. So I'm gonna go into town and get my own food. But you know, I didn't have the option last night. So we did what we had to do. Perveen coming through again. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad, thank you. Hey, Siva checking in from Singapore. Nice, nice, nice. Getting ready to work from home. Okay, okay. I was just talking about Singapore with somebody recently. 133, I appreciate you asking people to leave the like button. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, that's awesome, Alan. And that's the thing. Like, I feel like there are some companies, and probably more than we think, that will allow you to take leave of absences, 30 days off, especially these days. Like, I think most decent companies know that the amount of disgruntled workers is at an all-time high. I think if you work for a relatively decent company and they can afford to not have you around for a little bit, that if you ask, hey, can I take 2 weeks off with no pay, and you can afford to do it, a lot of them might say, yeah. What do they care? You know what I mean? If they can't do it without you, whatever. But like, if you're just like, hey, especially if you're just like Al, hey, I was about to quit. Either I'm gonna need a little time off for my mental health, collect my thoughts, just to sit at the house and watch Sailor Moon. I don't know, whatever you do. I'm gonna need that, or I'm out the door. I think a lot of companies will be like, take it, whatever. There's a lot of there's good companies, there's good managers, there's good bosses. But sometimes we just assume we know the answer. And a lot of times, I mean, I know from experience, there's been times when I quit jobs and they were like, if you had just told us what was bothering you, we would have fixed it. I'm like, oh. They're like, why? And I'm like, yeah, I didn't say anything. I just suffered in silence and then I just left. And they were like, we totally could have fixed that for you. You didn't say you wanted a raise. You didn't say you wanted less hours. You didn't say anything, Tim. You just quit. Now, there have been jobs where I said something and they didn't do anything, so I quit. But, so I know there are a lot of places that have options or are flexible sometimes with time off if we ask. You lost a shoe, Lee? Oh, well, you wear cheap shoes, so. Yeah, that shuttle's gonna be a game changer. I can't wait, Todd. I'm excited. I'm going after work. Take a shower, hop on the shuttle. Let's go. Hey, Tim, appreciate that. So love the content. Thank you. Jose, yeah, if you got a friend who keeps trying to set you up with somebody, and set the boundary. Like, just the conversation. And I have found that sometimes you got to snap on somebody. A lot of us nice people, we just kind of laid back. Every now and then you got to get mad with somebody. Bruh, I done told you it's not like that. Could you please stop trying to set us up? Like, I'm done with this, bro. Even if you're not that mad, you know what I mean? Sometimes you're not that mad, but you got to play. Sometimes you got to play mad. People will tighten up because you can be like, nah, it's not that. But like, if you come down one day, I used to be the phone hang up. That was a little too much, maybe, but I used to. I've said it a million times. You're not listening. I'm gonna say it one more time in my big boy voice, and I'm hanging the phone up. So I'm not. That maybe was a little too extreme, but yeah, I've learned in life that sometimes you have to show people the level of seriousness. It's just like I'm done with this. Now you know. Because sometimes people, I might know that if someone tells me something, they mean it. Even if they say it in their regular inside voice. Hey, Tim, I don't really like that. I'm like, cool, my bad, bro. But other people don't perceive it that way. And sometimes like you have to set like a hard boundary. You might be able to just say it to them. Hey, but some people I've learned you gotta play the game a little bit so they understand. Then they'll be, oh, I didn't know. Oh, what the hell? Why you get so mad, bro? I didn't know. I just thought it was just, no. I need you to stop trying to set me up. Yeah, I would definitely tell them, hey, that's inappropriate. Hey, the site works for a unionized company. That's rare. I literally take a leave of absence every year to finish my retirement home in Africa. Let's go. I love that. I love that. Leave of absence, retirement home in Africa. Let's go. Hey, Robert put in them 70 hours. Hey, sometimes, sometimes when you, like, once again, if you got a goal and it's like, hey, I'm going to get this OT this week. I'm going to bust out these 30 hours of OT. That check's going to be looking nice. Go for it. You know what I mean? Money's a tool. Money's a tool, hopefully, that we use to better our life. So like, even though you might not want to work 70 hours every week because that's exhausting, if you don't need to, like every now and then, hey, get your coins, stack your shacks, Okay, I see you, Jose, met somebody, you think there's potential romance? Okay. What up, urban lady? Happy Sunday. And what's up, Miss Mary? Yeah, Jesus snapped, throwing the money changers out, all kind of, hey. T. Ellie checking in, Lola. Hey, Jose Montez. I mean, yeah, hey, as long as you got that goal, you're like, man, I want to do seasonal work one day. There might be a couple setbacks. Maybe it's a couple things you got to get in place, pop, pop, pop. But yeah, as long as you're like, hey, one day I'm doing that, I feel like you'll look up one day and you're doing that. You know. Jesus snapped on the money changers. Throwing all kind of stuff around. Oh, they didn't. You read that scripture. Oh, I read it. What up, Jacina? Everybody thinks I've never read the Bible. Oh, I've read it. Oh, I know about that. Ms. Meadow, what up? How you doing? Lee, you getting lonely? Uh-oh. There ain't no prospects down there at Glacier? No prospects, Lee? Down there are you on the apps? Yes, Ms. Meadow, freedom and memory. Like, one of my favorite sayings is, a saying I really appreciate is, all we have in life is the moment and the memories. You know what I mean? Like, and if in this present moment, I can't be doing exactly what I want to do, well, hopefully I can use something I'm getting from this moment to create a memory later. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I look at it. I'm either trying to be doing it now or doing it in the future, And I want to have the freedom to do it. Oh, that is a bee. I wonder, it moved. I was trying to show you on camera. It moved away. That was them bees that look weird? They got like 8 different colors on it. Yeah, put that, the money lenders and the money changers. Google that. It's Bellum, I'm telling you. Yeah, the 4th, I'm kind of glad I'm going to be up this way on the 4th, because I'm sure there'll be some fireworks and some hooping and hollering, but people are very scared about forest fires up this way, so hopefully there won't be too much foolishness, because I'm trying to go to sleep. You go on the apps and the only person that comes up is Leroy Lee? You sure you putting in the right settings? You sure you putting in the right settings, Lee? I mean, if that's what you're searching for, I'm not mad at that. Do you, brother? Do you, brother? Maybe you should respond to me. Have you swiped? Have you messaged Leroy? Sorry, I'm being stupid. Ms. Meadow, you'll be in Loveland and the whole sky is on fire on the 4th? Yeah, I would imagine they do it big in Loveland. Loveland's a cool city. Jose Montez, I'm probably about an hour, 15 minutes from Loveland. I mean, from Denver, something like that, maybe. Something like that, hour and a half, maybe, depending on where you go in Denver. Marisa, Toronto in the building, the 6 in the building. Toronto's on the list of places I want to go. Yeah, one day I want to go to Toronto. It's lower on the list, but it's on the list. Thank you. Sorry about that. I had to delete, I had to block somebody, and I had to make sure it went through. Vancouver seems nice. All right. I want to go to Vancouver, Washington. When I was in Portland going to Minneapolis, I went through, like, I didn't know what city it was. I was like, man, I like this city. I'm like, this is a town. And then it was Vancouver, Washington. So, like, whenever that happens, I always try to go back to, like, when I identify somewhere and I'm like, I want to come back here, I make it a point to go back. So, which, I mean, I want to go back to Portland. So I'm sure into this year, next year, I'll go back to Portland and then jump over to Vancouver, Washington. But dope. Let's see. Lima Bean said, how much is enough to just quit working altogether, Tim? I think that's different for everybody. I don't think that's an answerable question other than each one of us figuring it out for ourselves. And like, I've never sat down and thought about that. I've thought about it from like a monthly point of view. It's like, oh, if I made this much every month from my own stuff, I probably wouldn't work, but I would still work. Because I get bored and a little lonely not working. So I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I'm always going to work a few months out the year, you know, no matter what, unless I find something else to do that occupies my time. But maybe if I start traveling with somebody, it'll be different. But solo travel, after a few months or so, I start wanting to be around people. So I'm like, I'm gonna go back to work. So, yeah, Praveen. I mean, I've been blessed to have some really good bosses and managers, but I've also had some that, you know, got angry, you know, maybe crossed the line and said some things. And I'll admit there were times when I didn't say anything, and then as I got older and maybe a little more confident, I kind of got to the point where certain things you're just not gonna say to me without me addressing it or me not showing back up. So typically it'll be an address, like, you know what I mean? You know, it hasn't happened anytime recently, but times in the past when it happened, when I'd gotten a little older, they knew they'd crossed the line, either body language or, you know, I said something, I clapped back at them. Whoa, 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 you know what I mean? Like that type of situation. But typically, if that's something that's happening a lot, I'm gonna start making plans to exit stage right. Because, like, I don't want to have to put myself in a situation where I'm having to get angry or I'm having to snap back or, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to have to do that, and I shouldn't have to at work. So, yeah. I might go to Seattle again sometime soon. I'm not sure. Yo, you said you got more money than ever and you're more anxious? Yeah, the more money you get, the more you worry about losing the money. Would I ever go back to housekeeping? Yeah, I would. I would. I'm less and less fond of manual labor these days, but yeah, I would go back if I had to. Yeah, or for the right situation. I mean, Aaliyah, you said it's hard to plan for the future when you don't know what the future is going to look like. I feel like that is that type of reasoning and not coming at you like that is very much like, oh, things happen and then I have to react around them. Things happen and then I have to design my life around them. I'm trying to be more in the camp of I decide what I want my future to look like, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm like, I'm going to figure out what I want my future to look like. I'm going to work towards that. And it doesn't matter what happens. That's my goal. Like if you have clear goals of like, this is what I want to do in life, it doesn't matter what happens. You're going after your goal. People, oh, what are you going to do if World War III happens, Tim? I'm going to do what I love with people I love as much as I can, travel as much as I can, stack my coins up as much as I can. The same thing I do now. Those are the things I love to do in life. That's what I'm trying to do into the future. I don't get worried about what's going to happen because my end never changes. The world could change, all this AI can come, switch stuff up. My end of it never changes unless I decide to change it. Unless one day I'm like, you know what? I want to start a golf cart repair business. That's my new goal. Well, then that's what I'm going after. But I feel like we don't need to know what the future is going to do when it comes to our stuff. You know what I mean? When it comes to societal stuff, we get real worried about the future. But when it comes to what I'm trying to do, you know what I mean? I'm as things happen, I may have to switch up how I'm trying to do it. You know what I mean? Obstacles arise, things change. I may have to pivot, but I'm still doing what I'm trying to do. So it doesn't really matter what happens in the future. The game's still the same. You know what I mean? That's the way I look at it. Philip, at 19, hey, live your life. You know what I mean? The same. Figure out, and at 19, I wouldn't, I'm a big believer in when you're young, appreciate the youth. I think a lot of people try to rush young people your age, into figuring out exactly what they want to do. I'm gonna say, have an idea, think about some things, whatever, but a soft think. You know what I mean? You 19, live your life. You know what I mean? Whatever it is you into right now, take some years and have fun doing that. While in the back of your mind, okay, what is something I think I might want to do, in my 20s? You know what I mean? Have that thought, but I don't think you need to rush it or think about it on a level that makes you anxious. You're 19, enjoy being 19. That'd be my advice. Enjoy being 19. The day will come, what up intently, the day will come when you man, when I was 19, wow. That debate bummed you out a little bit, Isabella? I wasn't expecting any less. So I just found it very entertaining. Though there was a part of me that was yeah, I think we just slid a little further down the drain. Aaliyah, I've quit many a job before. Yes. Yes. Marty, I mean, I think financial freedom, I agree with you, is a big part of the answer, but I think it's different for everyone. So I would never be like, oh, I know my plan to get to financial freedom, but I think it's different for everyone. We all got different situations. We all got different income levels. We all got different responsibilities. We got different bills. You know what I mean? Financial freedom will be a lot easier for me to achieve because I have no responsibilities. The only real bill I have is my phone bill, and then a couple other streaming services or stuff, stuff like that. My Canva bill for making my thumbnails is $14 a month. Little bills like that. I might have $100 worth of bills, of real bills. So financial freedom for me would be a lot easier to achieve than someone with a husband and 3. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I think we all know it's well, you just have to have X amount of money and then you can be financially free. But I think there's other things we can do. Spending is a big one. I think a lot of people would be closer to financial freedom if they spent money differently. I think we're also at a very difficult time, economically, for financial freedom. Everything's costs a lot of money. Everything's expensive. Even people with good spending habits is getting broke out here. You know what I mean? So it's the answer differs. I feel like something bit me. The answer differs from time to time and person to person. But I mean, ultimately, to be financially free, you have to have enough money or enough money coming in to not have to work, I guess, if you don't want to. Hey, yeah, you trying to live at 44? I feel you. I feel you. Perez, so I technically have rent right now, but I live in company sponsored employee housing. So they just take X amount out of my check. So I technically pay rent, but I don't ever see it. So it doesn't feel like I pay rent. But I technically have rent, but they just take it out my check. So I don't even see it. I'm with you, F Doctor. I don't think I ever want to own a home. It just seems like a lot of work. And I'm not gonna want to stay somewhere 30 years anyway. I've never tried to work away. I've heard of it, but never tried it. No. Psych. I mean, yeah, $500,000. You wouldn't catch me working. But everybody's different. Everybody's different. Yeah, I mean, no one can answer for anyone else what money level is enough. So it's kind of a personal thing. Because if you don't feel like it's enough, you're gonna go right back to work to try to get more money. So I don't think anyone can answer that for anyone else. Brian, full time in that RV, over a month, a couple days. Nice, nice, nice. Tomorrow. Yeah, Philip. There's so many, and shout out to them. It's what they do. But yeah, there's so many people who all they want to tell you is like how to get rich and all, you know what I mean, and how to get bigger, better, faster, prettier, handsomer. And if that's what you truly want, cool. But like a lot of people, that's not what they really want. That's what we've been sold. You know what I mean? We've been told, once again, we've been told that so much that we believe it. But that's why when some people get those things, a lot of people never get them. So they're miserable their whole life because they're trying to get them and never do. And so even the things they do get, the blessings they do get, they don't appreciate. But some people do get that stuff and then they're really unhappy because they're like, what up, doopy? They're like, I've been trying 20 years to get to this level. I got here and I'm not happy. Now what do you have? That's why I think it's good to put the message out there of like, hey, maybe that's not you. Maybe you're the person who just wants to travel the country in an RV, or maybe you just want to live close by your kids and see your grandkids. Like what I mean. There's so many simple, enjoyable, meaningful things, purposeful things, fulfilling things in life. Maybe you just want to breed dogs. I don't know. But I think for all of us, there's something we would love to do that doesn't require us working ourselves to the bone unless we want it to, unless it was something hard work we enjoyed. That would just be very meaningful to us. Like, it would just be like, yeah, this is what I do and I enjoy it. I make enough money doing this to live. It is a beautiful feeling when you can be doing something in life and you can look and say, if I'm blessed to do this the rest of my life, I will be like the luckiest person on the planet. You know what I mean? If you can just be like, I have days where I'm just like, man, this is amazing, bro. Like, if I can do this the rest of my life, I'm good. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't really need nothing else, bro. I'm good. No, I'm not doing housekeeping now. Well, te- technically, I do work in employee housing. I work in that department half the week. So technically, occasionally, I do a little cleaning, you know what I mean? But I don't consider that housekeeping. Like, I consider housekeeping when you're cleaning the guest rooms and that's all you do. So I guess technically I'm doing some housekeeping, but like, I don't consider It's different than when you got 14 rooms you got to clean every day or that type of stuff. That's housekeeping to me. Yeah. My thing, I like hanging out with my friends. I like being in nature. I like traveling. I love doing YouTube, you know. If I could just keep doing that. Now within those parameters, like I want to travel to more countries. Um, I do kind of want to pick up another online side hustle or something. You know, within those same parameters, I kind of want to level up more. But I'm pretty much, I like watching my basketball, eating my chicken wings. Like I'm chilling, you know. Hey, Francesca, living comfortable in NYC doing season work. Let's go. Justina, you think bartering and offering individual services is going to be the new currency? That would be interesting. I'd be down for that. I'd be down for that. Hold on, I got time people out. They just saying random stuff. Um, Yo says I literally just play video games, watch YouTube. I don't care. Hey, if you good, you good, you good. You don't have to do anything. That's the thing too. There's nothing you have to do. We get told, oh, you got to be successful. You got to achieve certain status. You have certain. No, you don't. All you got to do is get from womb to tomb. All you got to do is get from womb to tomb. It does not matter. And hopefully you do it in a manner that's enjoyable to you. And I throw in there for me that helps my fellow man. But you don't have to do anything. People so worked up, so anxious, trying to achieve this stuff that means nothing to them. It means nothing to you and nobody else cares. Society cares, but nobody cares. The people who love you, trust me, trust. The people who love you would much rather you do the things that bring you joy and fulfillment than you going out chasing success or all this other stuff. The people who love you want you to like do the things you enjoy. So they're not concerned about all this other stuff. It's society that says that. But then the same people that make up society be the main ones hating on you when you do achieve something. Who he think he is, who she thinks she is, blah, 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 blah. Nobody cares, bro. Nobody cares. Do what you like. Do what you do. Yeah, YouTube does pay me. It's like, yeah. Hey, Jose, let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah, this whole you always got to be a productive member of society. I'm productive member of society just being born. Like, calm down. Yeah, I don't care. Any goals or metrics I have in life are based on are things that, or I'm trying to make them all. Because we still are surrounded by, we still get bombarded with advertising and all this other stuff, but I try to make them things that mean something to me. And now sometimes things that mean something to me might turn out to be one of the things that society also likes. That's cool. As long as I know I'm doing it for me and not because everybody said I needed to do it. Oh, Ricky, don't worry. I'm never getting a pet. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about that. The higher, I used to be a beer drinker. If I drank liquor, it was going to be a bad night. If I drank liquor, there's probably going to be some type of violence or some type of ignorance on my part. So I used to drink beer. I'm never going to drink again. Never, never, never. I will die sober. 100%. I'll die sober. A big is I have friends who didn't. And that was one of the things that helped me quit because I had friends who didn't get a chance to do that. Actually, their addictions killed them. You know what I mean? And I was like, for me and for them, like, Tim's gonna die sober. Facts. I don't smoke weed. I don't see, like, I just don't see the point in any of those substances. You know what I mean? Like, what is it gonna add to my life? Like, I don't need it to relax. I don't need it to calm down. I don't need it to celebrate. Yeah, I just don't need it. You know, respect anybody who does. Like, I ain't knocking, but like, I don't need it. So why do it? You know what I mean? That's the way I look at it. Pat, go. How's it going? How's it going? I definitely find myself happier without alcohol. Totally. I mean, like, for the few hours I was drunk, yeah, I felt really, really, really happy. But then there was hours and hours and hours of shame, guilt, agony, anxiety. So like, it didn't equal out, you know? I always say about sobriety, the highs aren't as high, but the lows aren't as low. It equals out to overall way more happiness than, yeah. I used to think I was happier because I was ecstatic while I was drunk, but then I was doing craziness and I had to pay for it the whole next day. So yeah, I'm way happier. Oh, way happier. Hey, you know, you'll get there, designer. Chantel, VP, what up? Oh yeah, X. I mean, I've very open about this. It was not. I don't believe in quitting cold turkey. Maybe some people can do it. Most people, I think, don't. It was years of struggling. It was years of struggling before I quit. You know, I never want to give the impression that like one day I was like, I'm done, and I was done. One day I did say I was done and I was done, but I had said I was done 100 times before, and I was. So yeah, it was definitely not just one day I was like, oh, you know, it wasn't I drank for 15 years and then on a dime quit. Like the last 5 years or so, I was so many times I was done. It was definitely a struggle. I mean, the struggle to get sober is the price I paid for developing an addiction. You know what I mean? Tech Death, what up? Yeah, it's one of the hardest things a human can do. Like facts, facts, facts. Yeah, we'll sling through your house in Africa. Psych, when you got to drop that addy, the location. T. Ellie, thank you. I see the fours, twos doubled. Thank you, T. Ellie. Super Chat Squad, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Thank you. Oh, I was trying to give you a like. Oh, there it is. Cool. Keep quitting till you quit. Why do some people get addicted and some people don't? Video watcher. I think we all got different genetic makeups. I think we all drink for different psychological reasons. I think that's just the game. Some people are blessed to not get addicted. Some of us do. You know what I mean? I used to spend a lot of time thinking about that and being like, woe is me, it's not fair. Why am I the one that when I drink, I get crazy? But then I was like, Tim, just stop freaking drinking. You know what I mean? Instead of using all that brain power and wasting all that time worrying about why other people can drink and be okay, why don't you use all that brain power and time and energy and put it towards stop drinking? I mean, it's the same. Why are some people allergic to peanuts? Some people aren't. Some people allergic to wheat, some people aren't. You know? Some people addicted, some people don't. I was one of the people that did, so I had to quit. Jose, thank you. Thank you, Jose. I appreciate that. Oh, first super chat. Yes, let's go. Super chat squad. Thank you, Jose. We here. Trues No TV. Hello. Blessings in abundance. Dang, Jared, that's first off. Sorry to hear about your father, but dying 1 year shy of retirement. Yeah, that'll shift your perspective. That'll shift your perspective and change your narrative. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, that's. I can't even imagine how that hits you in general. You know, just losing. But then also like that added like, man, he didn't even get retirement. You know what I mean? And then makes you look at your life like, wait a second. You know what I mean? Like, and that's why I think some people think I'm like anti-retirement. I'm like, no. I think we need to switch up the narrative that needs to be how all of us look at life. because a lot of us, won't make retirement. Some of us won't. And then also a lot of us, some of us, when we get there, won't be able to do all the things we said we wanted to do. We'll be infirm, bodies broken down, mentals will be off. And then the people who might get there and might still be in great shape just might not want to do it. No, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, live your life, man. Live your life. You know, I think, once again, I think it is possible to have a balance between living now and preparing for the future, setting yourself up for the future. I don't think it has to be one or the other, you know? Yeah, Philip, yeah, hey, good you see that. Yeah, social media can be very addicting. Derek, same. Sorry to hear about your dad. But yeah, I can see that be a game changer. Uh, I don't know, Tommy, if I daydream a lot, but I spend a lot of time thinking about stuff. So I feel like I used to daydream a lot, but I've kind of replaced it. I just think about a lot of stuff. Is that daydreaming? Like, I'm always thinking about stuff. I mean, a big part of that is YouTube because it never stops, right? So you always got to be thinking about new ideals, I spend a lot of time taking my surroundings and the world around me, or things I hear or things I read, and like developing videos in my mind about them. I think that's why content creators get so burned out after a while, is because your whole life becomes content. So I do a lot of that. And, I'm a part-time philosopher in my head. So I just spend a lot of time thinking about stuff. I don't know if it's daydreaming, I just be thinking about stuff. Which I don't think daydreaming is bad. What up, John? Hey, discernment, appreciate that. Love you too. Thank you. No foolishness today. We sniping today. Hey, glad to hear that, John. Tresair, same. And once again, condolences. Um, but yeah, I think, like, and when we start these conversations, we start, you know what I mean? Like, that's why I like having these conversations, because so many people just came out. Yeah, same with my parents, same with my dad, whatever, like, changed how I look at things. If you're someone who hasn't had that happen, it's good to hear from somebody where that has happened, so you can be, oh man, like, and put yourself in that situation, be like, dang, what if I had seen that? Like, that might start to change my perspective. Australia in the building. What up, Elwin? I need to laugh. Oh, I laugh all the time, John. I wouldn't say I was an Anthony Bourdain fan, but I respected him. Dustin, what up, what up, what up? Finally caught a live show. Let's go. Oh, nice. Lived out in an SUV converted for over a year. Now you're converting a van. Nice, nice. Glad I could throw a little inspiration your way. Let's go. Hey, Johnny, hey, fix it yourself. You'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. Any advice on getting from womb to tomb without a job? Marry rich. Get your bills really low and panhandle. Live in the woods. I don't know. I feel like if you're really adamant about not working, you'll find a way to make it work. You see what I did? Okay. Yeah, Praveen, I'm having to block a lot of people today. It's sometimes groups of people come on and get, you know. Sorry to hear about your mom, Jose. Sorry to hear that. Hey, Justina said, because of your talks, I booked 2 getaways this year instead of putting traveling off until next year. Let's go. Living more now as I plan for the proverbial future. Hey. I'm glad we could, throw a little inspiration to do that your way. Yeah, I mean, I think 2020, I always think back to 2020, you know? I was so scared when 2020 happened that I wasn't going to be able to like ever travel or live this lifestyle again. That kind of woke me up. And then around about 2022, I kind of forgot and I had to remind myself. But bro, like we don't know what might be around the corner. Not to be scared, not from a doom and gloom perspective. We don't know. So if we got the chance, do it. Hey, Detangle, thank you. Said I'm in the squad, super chat squad. I see you, Detangle. Thank you. Hey, we got one coming up right behind you. Lewis Brown, thank you. Super chat squad, wow. Lewis coming through, first super dropped a bag off. Lewis, I appreciate that. Detangle, Lewis, thank y'all so much. Super chat squad, super chat train. Hey, I appreciate that. LBZ. Like, don't do that to my name. Don't nickname me out in these streets. Just say my real name. Lewis, I appreciate that. Thank you. Greatly appreciate it. Super chat squad, thank you. Here, thank you. I think I missed some comments here. We need the group Zoom meetup. We'll see. You work in tech, child free. I got you. Fluent in romance. I have been told probably once a month at least for the past 8 years. I sound like Barack Obama. So here's a good rule of thumb. If you think somebody sounds like or looks like somebody that everybody knows, they've been told it 1,000 times. This used to be this girl I knew, looked like Drew Barrymore. Was trying to holla, cute, trying to holla. And I was like, she's like, don't say, if you say I look like Drew Barrymore, I'm not talking to you. Everybody says that. And then I started thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, everybody knows Drew Barrymore. She looks like Drew Barrymore. Every dude probably walks up to her and be like, you know you look like Drew Barrymore? So that's when I'm like, oh, if everybody can see it, everybody said it. But we ended up hanging out. So, whatever. I'm that dude. Or was back then. That was another one when it ended, I got kind of hurt. Whenever, hey, it's the abundance, John. We start a live stream, you start getting orders. Never worked on a yacht, no. Yeah, Chantel, we was shook 2020. We was shook. Drew Barrymore is crazy. I love Drew Barrymore. Drew Barrymore has always been one of my celebrity crushes to this day. Like, I love everything about Drew Barrymore. She has a crooked mouth when she talks, which I think is like the sexiest thing on the planet. But I just love Drew Barrymore. Her whole story, I just love Drew Barrymore. John, people say you look like Miguel? Okay. So I see you. Oh yeah. Me and what's her name? We had some fun times. I'm mad at that. It. For her, it was just fun times, and I was trying to be like her man. You know what I mean? And it went back in my party days. That was always my thing. The women that liked me and wanted it to be long term, I was just trying to hang out with. And the women that I was like, oh, I want this to be more, they was just trying to hang out with me. So it never lined up. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's the story of my life. It just never lined up. Back then, I hadn't embraced it. Back then, I wasn't on my womb to tomb. You know what I mean? Now I am. So it's just like, whatever scenario presents itself these days, I'm cool with it. Back then, I had the oh, I want her. She's the love of my life. I need to be with her, even though I know she was a hoe. You know what I mean? Respectfully. I guess we can't say that word no more. Even though I know she was in the streets. I knew she was for the streets. But so when she went back to the streets, I was all broke up and sad. But now I embrace whatever. I just be happy to be nominated, bro. It don't even have to go nowhere. If I'm like, oh, she feeling me? Cool. I'm happy with that now. I'm a simple man. It is what it is. Jose, yeah, Arizona. Yeah, hit you to Grand Canyon, Montana, yeah. I remember Drew Barrymore being Poison Ivy. Yes, yes. That was like, I'm already a Batman freak, right? So when Drew Barrymore was in a Batman movie, I was like, oh man, like, you know what I mean? Like stuff like that makes me supremely happy. What was that, 97? I think I was happy all year. I'm like, Drew Barrymore in a Batman? You can't, bro. I don't celebrate Christmas, but Christmas came early. Yeah, John, I watched the debate. It was hilarious. I was in my room in employee housing dying laughing. I was dying laughing. Some of it I had to check myself because I'm like, you shouldn't laugh at a obviously like mental things happening with the 80-some-year-old man. I was in my room, like it was entertainment to me. They start arguing about golf scores. Oh, I loved it. Oh, because I was on Twitter reading comments and watching it. Oh man. Oh boy. They start talking about black jobs. I was howling. Like, what's a black job? The whole thing was funny to me. You know what I mean? Yeah, the whole thing was funny to me. I just thought it was hilarious. Uh, Triceri. I don't know if I got any. Like I have. I'm gonna do a video about downsizing because Carol asked me to, so I'm gonna do one. Um, there's not a lot of tips I could quickly give about downsizing, but I would say when it comes to being, just living out of two suitcases and traveling with everything you own, just make sure that's what you really want to do. Um, because maybe Drew Barrymore wasn't Poison Ivy, but she was in a Batman movie. She was in a Batman movie. She was one. Yeah, she was one of. Was she one of Two Faces? She was in a Batman movie. I'm sure of that. But yeah, if you're thinking about traveling with everything you own, just make sure it's what you really want to do, because there's some stuff that comes with it. You know what I mean? There is a feeling of vulnerability that comes with it that um, if you might get in the middle of it and that not be a you want to deal with a lot. Yeah. Johnny, yes, there was a time when I felt behind. Um, and shout out to you for the things you have accomplished. And I think that kind of shows why it's all in our minds. At the end of the day, it's just you getting from womb to tomb. So there's really no race in life. Life's not a race. Um, it's a solo walk through. You know what I mean? Like there's the only people you race against in life, or you put yourself. In order to feel behind, you have to feel like there's somebody in front of you. You put those people in front of you, or we put those people in front of us. There's nobody in front of us. There's nobody behind us. There's just us. Because nobody, now, if you had like 18 clones and they were the exact same person of you as you and living the exact same life, then you could say, I'm behind. But everybody has different circumstances, different DNA, different upbringing. There's no way, there's no equality in our life. You can't be behind in life when someone's gone through when everybody else is living a totally different life than you. It's just you living your life. So if you're ever feeling behind in life, it's because we've set up a scenario of, okay, there's other people I think are equal to me, and I feel like they're doing better than me. That's why I'm a big believer in figuring out like what you really want to do in life as uniquely and dialed in as possible, because there won't be anybody else on the planet who has that same dream. So you can't possibly feel behind. You might feel like, okay, I'm not as far along as I want to be on my path, but you're not behind. You're just like, okay, I need to pick up. Like if you're taking a hike in the woods and you're like, oh man, I'm trying to finish this hike before 5 o'clock and it's already 3:30. I got to get up the mountain and down. Oh, let me pick up you don't feel behind. anybody. It's just you hiking. You just want to go a little faster. Okay. But yeah, I think the more we look at life, what am I trying to do? Where am I trying to go? The less we care what everybody else is doing, because it's like, oh yeah, she might have this, she might have that, he might be doing that, but I'm not trying to do that. So why do I care? You know, if you're living at home with your parents and you're fine with that, you know, and some of the people you look at and feel like you're behind are probably low key envious of you because you get to be at home with your parents and you ain't got to pay bills like them. You're like, oh man, my other friends are 23, they're doing this, they're living there, they got that. They looking at you like, man, if I had my parents and I could still live at home, I wouldn't be doing none of this. It's all subjective. Half the time the people we feel behind are looking at us enviously. It's all a game. It's all a game. You know? It's all a game. It's all in our head, basically. It's a game in our heads. Be yourself, love yourself. Love the name, by the way. I think, I don't think fighting, now, and I'll say this first, I never had that type of family pressure. But I think fighting is the wrong way to see it. I think if we can, and I get it, that type of pressure is aggravating when you're not trying to do that. But I think it'd be less of a fight and more of like a judo match. You know, in judo, like you use the person's own weight and, you know, again, you know what I mean? I think it's more of like acceptance and getting it away. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I know my family wants me to get married. I know they like this. That's not what I want to do. I know that's what they want, but it's not what I want. I just have to, instead of fighting them, I just have to learn to deal with them coming at me with that. So I say it's like judo. They're going to come at you with that. You just got to learn to deflect, whatever. Because fight, like what is fighting them on it going to do? They're not going to change their opinion. You're not going to change yours. So, I mean, it's just a pointless fight as opposed to just like accepting those are their beliefs, but realizing you don't have to believe them. Like, yeah, it's going to be aggravating. Yeah, you know, every family reunion, I got to hear Aunt Shirley talking about the, okay, that's just a cross I got to bear. My family doesn't get it. And the day will come with, and much like judo, when someone keeps coming at you and you just keep deflecting or throwing, never really fighting back, they end up getting tired expending all of that energy. So eventually, the people who are coming at you about marriage, all this other stuff, they will eventually get tired of it because they're not going to change you. So eventually you become the person not doing that. In the beginning, you're the person they're trying to convince to do it. After a while, they get tired and they just label, because we have to label people. We have to label people. So you'll just be labeled the person who doesn't want to get married or the person who doesn't want to work a real job. And once they get to the point where they can label you and understand it, they'll leave you alone. It is weird. Humans, when they can't understand you, they come at you, and then eventually they work out a way to like accept it in their mind, and then you're good. So I would say, yeah, instead of the idea of like fighting, acceptance. I know mom wants me to get married and have grandkids. We've had this conversation 100 times. I'm just, yes, mom, I understand that's what you want. It's not really what I want. Yeah, I understand that's what you want. It's not what I want currently. Yeah, I understand. Eventually they just give up. Yeah. Praveen, thank you. Super Chat Squad, thank you, Praveen. Life is exactly like the 1990s game of life. I'm sure the people who made that game would love hearing you say that. Life's just like the game, which that is yeah. There's layers to that comment. I love that. Thank you, Praveen. Super Chat Squad. You mean like I'm with you, Chow Free. It is, as a content creator, I see a lot of other content creators doing stuff. I'm like, but I can't knock the hustle because I have the same hustle. It's just that I try to be authentic and real and honest. Some people just try to make a fast buck. I can't knock it though. But yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of stuff I see on, there's a lot of people who claim to be experts on stuff. I'm like, that's why I was like, I'm not an expert on nothing. I just talk currently. Um, cupcake, cupcake love. I don't think life gets weirder as you get older. I think it gets less weird the older you get. It may seem like it gets weirder now, but I know for me, the older I get, the less weird life gets. Life was really weird some nights life was really weird when I was in my 20s. things could get things got really weird some nights. And then you got to lie in bed hungover thinking about it the whole next day. Am I gonna stream on the 4th? I don't know, cause that's like a Thursday. I might be busy for me. Yeah, and Philip, I think that's most people. We'll kind of get an ideal, but it's hard to get the ball rolling. That's why I'm a big believer in like baby stepping. Hey, what's something small I can do that'll get me started in that direction? What's something every day I can do that can, maybe it's research, you know what I mean? Like, what's something I can do every day that can help me towards my goal? And then maybe enough baby steps will lead me to a bigger step. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, getting started is probably the hardest part of anything, is actually doing it. Dreamy Roxy, what up? Yeah, pretty lady. See, that's smart. Took about 8 weeks, asking questions, doing research. I feel like that's real starting a business, as opposed to just like I'm just gonna get my LLC and, you know, tomorrow I'm gonna be a crypto expert. The U.S. Olympic trials are awesome. Oh, I haven't watched them. I'm in Colorado. Somebody asked what state I'm in. I'm in Colorado. Carrie, what up? 21-year-old son just left his seasonal job in Alaska. Oh, now working in Pigeon Forge, living his best life. Let's go. That's awesome, Carrie. That is awesome. That's awesome. Hey, I'm humbled and so happy that I could, put him on that path, help him get on that path. Excuse me. Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying. At 21, he living like this. Oh, that's at 21, he's already been to Alaska, Pigeon Forge. That's living, bro. Like, shout out to you. Shout out to you and your son. That's awesome. And thanks for sharing, Carrie. Thank you. Baby step. I'm telling you, just baby step it. Yes, I've been in North Carolina. I don't think I've been. Have I been to? I don't think I've been to Pennsylvania. Have I been to Pennsylvania? To Pennsylvania. I'm trying to get to Philly. I'm trying to get to Kensington Avenue. I just got to see it once for myself. I'm gonna get my LLC tomorrow. I'm gonna be an entrepreneur. I'm gonna be a girl boss. No, don't get me started. No, I'm not knocking. I'm not knocking getting your coins, starting a business. I don't like the idea that we think it's so easy these days. You know, I don't like we can talk about it and discuss it, but I think when it comes to like real discussion, like people who claim to be like business experts, I think they should really be talking about A, they should have already started a business. And B, they should talk about how hard it is. It's kind of like when I talk about sobriety, I always try to emphasize how hard it is, how hard it was for me. Because I think there's a lot of people who talk about sobriety and try to make it seem so easy. And then other people are like, well, why isn't it that easy for me? What's wrong with me? No, it's hard for pretty much everybody. It's one of the hardest things you can do. And I don't say that to scare people. I just want people to know when they're struggling, like everybody else struggles the same. That's why they call it addiction. Oh, you got the interview tomorrow, John, with Maduro at Theodore Roosevelt? Okay, good luck, good luck. Tree share. Yeah, once again, I've only been to 3 countries other than the US, so I'm definitely not an expert on over international travel. I'm trying to become more of an expert later this year. But I would say find countries you want to go to and go. You know, the trouble with asking too much advice, I think, on traveling is what I believe is a country to avoid might not be what you want to avoid. What I believe is the great country to go to, you might not care. So I think it's more about figuring out you want to go, then maybe kind of do your research. Is it safe? Blah, blah, blah. Because if you ask other people, you know, it may not be what you want. Well, and I think, pretty lady, that's the issue for a lot of people. They don't really know the industry, you know? Hey, Lola, good luck on your job application. Rob just got back from 3 months in Argentina, 2 weeks in Peru. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Oh, yeah, Praveen, I'm definitely going to Japan. Good Lord willing, and the creek no rise. If I don't go to Japan because something happens, then I can't go. Other than that, we're going. Like, facts. X headed to Argentina. Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, Rob, I think, yeah, that's right. That's always the biggest one for me. Like, you get so used to having your phone that it's always like, oh, I got to figure out the phone in another country. That's always one I'm never excited about. That's why I go to Mexico so much, because my phone works in Mexico. So I'll be like, I want to leave the country. I'm just go to Mexico. I ain't trying to deal with getting a new phone, getting my phone unlocked. Blah, blah, blah. Like, what I really do is just, if I'm going to a country for any length of time, I just buy a phone while I'm there. That's what I do. If I'm gonna be there a couple weeks, I'm just gonna buy a phone and use it for 2 weeks. I'm not dealing with all this other stuff. No. One of these days, I need to just buy an unlocked phone and travel with it, but I just buy a phone. Yeah, I mean, you can get a phone for $30. I just need enough time on it to, yeah, that's what I do. But yeah, figure the money out. I don't even, I don't worry too much about the local scams, because I feel like at the end of the day, scammers are scammers. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? I just feel like, now I've gotten scammed, but not like in a, like, ended up like, for example, when I was in Thailand, I hired a tuk-tuk driver to take me to this temple. Instead, he took me to this place. He was, oh, I can't drive on the road to the temple. Now, I should have known he was lying, because I had pulled up on the phone that I bought when I was there, the route. And I'm like, he's, oh, too much traffic. But he took me to the river where his friends took me on the boat. They took me the water route. So, but I was smart enough that, like, I haggled, because I was like, I'll just get a tuk. And he was like, oh, no, 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 no. Because they was trying to charge me crazy to get on the boat. And I was like, you know what? The boat does seem kind of cool. I'm not paying what you want me to pay. I was like, I'm going to give you this. I owe you this. And I'm going to go find another tuk-tuk. And he's, oh, they'll take you for, anyway. So I haggled. But it was something I didn't want to do that I kind of got talked into doing. So kind of scam. And then when you get off the boat, they drop you off the boat at a place where, like, there's these real official looking signs that say you have to pay, you know, a couple dollars. It's a scam. But it's like $2. So, like, yeah, I could have just walked past him and be like, nah, arrest me, whatever. But, like, I'm like, it's $2. So, like, and it was an adventure, and it's a story. So there's stuff like that where, like, the locals might try to get money out of you low key, but they're not, like, robbing you. It's just kind of like, because I could have said no to any of it. But I just feel like scams, that, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like all over the world, if you use common sense, you can kind of watch out for, you know what I mean? People trying to scam you. The more crazy stuff you do, the more greedy you try to get, the more likely you are to get scammed. I feel like if you just minding your business, you know what I mean? and you go into your hotel, your Airbnb, and you mingling where everybody else is mingling. I don't know. But then I've only been to 3 countries. So Marty, I've definitely noticed that things are more expensive. Yeah. Oh, it's about to rain. Ugh. I just went to a little. Like I was in Thailand. I just went to a little store and I was like, I need a phone, like a throwaway, a burner. You can buy a burner phone. Once again, it's Thailand. It's not America. I got a little burner phone for like $30. Every country isn't as expensive as America. It's about to like really start raining out here, folks. Hold on. See, my new motto in Colorado is always bring your jacket. Yeah. What up? What up? Animage? Hey, Zylo, glad you could catch a stream. Thank you. Hey, I appreciate that, John. Appreciate that love. Drop what you're doing. You know what I mean? Come chill with us. I appreciate that. Yeah, my thing is just like I think there's a lot of videos out there, scams you need to watch out for in Mexico, scams you need to watch. I just think those do more to scare people than help people. That's my issue on that. That's why I don't really, you know what I mean? I just think they do more to scare people than help people. Unless it's like Gabriel Travel, who I follow. If he sometimes gets got, and he'll come on and be like, oh, watch out for this. And like I respect that because like obviously it's a really legit one if they got him, you know. But like I think a lot of people just make these videos for the money and they're trying to scare people. Those videos I don't really rock with. Detangled. Nah, I don't think I've ever encountered wildlife while I'm filming. Like elk. I see elk all the time or deer, but nothing too crazy. I don't think. Hey, Zylo. Hey, yeah. Hey, use your hard-earned money because we work hard for our money to use the system to get out the system. Yeah, and Skyrock, I'm definitely not saying don't be aware. I think awareness is important everywhere. You know what I mean? So like, if you don't think awareness is important, or you let some stranger on the internet talk you into not being aware, you was gonna get scammed anyway. Like, you know what I mean? So like, to me, it goes without saying, like, be careful. But I don't think I'll give you an example. First time I left the country, went down to Mexico, Puerto Vallarta. I had heard so many, because back then I used to watch the videos. I had heard so many people talk about cab drivers scamming you that a cab driver was not trying to scam me, and I was very rude to him. And eventually he was just like, I'm just trying to make money. You know what I mean? Like, he's doing his job. Like, and I realized this because there you pay, it was at the airport before I realized they have Uber in Mexico. You pay the driver beforehand, and then he went 20 feet and there's a booth and he hands the money over to them. He don't even get to keep the money like that. And I was trying to argue with this guy and blah, 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 blah. And then later I realized he wasn't even he don't set the price. He was just trying to do it, you know what I mean? And that's what I was like, man, like I'm believing all this. And I'm sure you can get scammed by a cab driver in Mexico. That's why you need to, but like, it doesn't mean every cab driver is coming at you like that. You know what I mean? So like, that's what I'm kind of like, hey, I just watch my six, you know what I mean? I try to educate myself on currency and exchange rates. You know, you can get scammed in America. You can get scammed in your home country. You know what I mean? Hey, thank you, Demi. But then Rod said those videos saved his life a couple times. So maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. Maybe I'll come back one day and be like, yeah, I'm gonna start. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't know. Well, no. I could be wrong. I'll say I could be wrong. Maybe those are the best videos ever. I don't know. But I just feel like common sense, head on a swivel, watch your six. You know, facts. Your own family will scam you. Your friends will. You know what I mean? Hey, see you later, Detangled. Appreciate the love. Man, that's like whenever the sun goes down, the bugs really come out. Like when the sun pops up, it seems a little better. Man, my phone is lasting a long time. Yeah, right. I respect that. Like you said, I'm not saying there's no, and maybe it could be the videos I've watched. Because I've watched some videos and I was just like, you know what I mean? So once again, I'll say bona fide travelers out there who really do it, making a video like that because they've seen it, okay. But like, I just think there's a lot of people who make those videos and you know what I mean? I think they're just, as with everything on the internet, people sometimes make videos just to make them, and maybe those are the ones I came across. Pretty lazy. I'm getting scammed by AT&T every month. I think it depends. Like a lot of this stuff made of wood. I think like I'm not gonna have straight up advice on it because I think it's personal. I think some people it's better to gradual downsize. I think for other people they just want to get like me. I just want to get rid of everything. Let's go. Just get it. You know what I mean? But like that's me. I know a lot of people who aren't that extreme or that drastic. And I'm just gonna get rid of stuff over time. So I think it just depends on what feels right to you. Put lavender oil in the lotion, the bugs won't bother you? I don't know. There's a lot of different bugs out here. And I don't know where to get lavender oil. They sell that? Oh, Amazon. Anyway, I'm sure. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna jump off. It's getting a little darker. Feels like it's about to rain. My phone battery just yelled at me. Phone just yelled at me, said the battery's about to die. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Appreciate the love, appreciate the support. Big shout out to the Super Chat squad. Big shout out to the thumbs uppers, the commenters. Let's even shout out to people we had to block. A couple crazy people, a couple people who were behaving in a crazy manner, had to block them. Love each and every one of y'all. I really appreciate y'all taking the time to sit out here in the woods with me. And let's just chop it up. Let's just talk. Hopefully you got something good out of it. Peace, love, blessings. Spend your hard-earned money to buy freedom. Talk to y'all later.